Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back to show off some more plunder that I've acquired over the last little while. Got a couple nice stacks of 2022 releases to show you. So again, I'm going to split this up into two separate videos, just in case I kind of blather on about things. Some of these I've listened to, some of them I have not. So yeah, we're just going to kick things off with the brand new one from the Prince of Darkness himself. This is Patient Number 9 by Ozzy Osbourne. And honestly, I should not have to tell you who Ozzy Osbourne is. I mean, the man is pretty much the one who helped create heavy metal with Black Sabbath. He's been doing his solo thing since 1980, and this is his 13th full-length album as a solo artist. And yeah, a lot of mixed opinions on this one, much like his last one. I actually kind of like this one more than his last one. And much like John and Nick over at Thralls of Metal said in their review of this is definitely like a highlight of this man's career, because as you're listening to it, you can hear different like eras of Ozzy on here, and you know, all the guest artists, including Zakk Wylde and Tony Iommi. You just, as you're listening to it, you say, oh, that's, you know, this era of his band. This is kind of more Sabbathy here or whatever. And I think it's a pretty good album overall. Some of the songs are definitely long. I think there's some that I think probably could have been cut down just a little bit. They seem to kind of go on a little bit too long, but overall, I really enjoy this so far. I've only gotten to listen to it a couple times, and yeah, go check it out. Next up, Razor with Cycle of Contempt. Of course, Razor, speed thrash metal band out of Ontario, Canada, been around since 1983. This is their 9th full-length album overall, put out by Relapse Records, and this is actually their first album in 25 years. That is so hard to believe, but I've been a big fan of Razor for a long time, and sadly, I only have, I think, one other album of theirs, and that's Open Hostility, which has always been one of my favorites from them, and I was glad to see that the vocalist from that album, whose name totally escapes me right now, is also the same vocalist on here. But the thing is that I went into this thinking that it might actually sound like Open Hostility, but it doesn't. But still, I really enjoy this. Definitely a good comeback album from these guys. This next one, I really dug this band's EP, and I was really excited to finally check out the full-length album when it came out. This is Living Wreckage with their self-titled. Of course, Living Wreckage, metalcore band out of East Hampton, Massachusetts. Been around since just last year in 2021. This actually features both of the guitarists from Shadows Fall in this project. This is kind of their little thing they did when Shadows Fall kind of, even though they're still active, they have not put out an album in a long time. So these guys kind of formed this band here to kind of, I guess, have something to do. But yeah. This is their debut full-length album put out by M Theory Audio, and I've only gotten to listen to it once, but really dig it so far. If you're, you know, a fan of Shadows Fall or just metalcore in general, definitely check these dudes out. Next up, Defacing God with the Resurrection of Lilith. Melodic death metal, though if you look on archives, they call them like symphonic blackened death metal or something like that. But no, this is just straight up melodic death metal with some symphonic elements for sure. Out of Denmark, been around since 2015. This is their debut full-length album put out by Napalm Records. I've only gotten to listen to it once thus far, but really savage stuff. Definitely go check them out. This one, I just got the I think it was yesterday or the day before. I have not had a chance to listen to it other than the singles that they put up on Bandcamp. But this is Asaphalex with Theothanatology. And yeah, death metal band out of San Francisco, California. Been around since 2007. Features members of Mortuous and Skolix, among others. But yeah, this is their 4th full-length album overall, put out by 20 Bucks Spin. I do have, I think, one other album from this band. I really dug it, so I'm really looking forward to diving more into this one. Next up, we have Crisium with Mortem Solace. Of course, you know, Crisium, death metal band from Brazil, one of the big names in the Brazilian scene, I would say. Been around since 1990. This is their 12th full-length album put out by Century Media. Yeah, I've gotten to listen to this once so far, and sounds really good. I mean, if you liked any of their other albums, can't go wrong with Christian, in my opinion. Next up, Wolfheart, King of the North. Really love that album cover. But yeah, melodic death metal band out of Finland, been around since 2013. This is their 6th full-length album overall, put out by Napalm Records, and listened to it actually yesterday when I got it, and really good, really good. Has Jesse Leach and Carl Sanders on guest vocals here, and Carl's guest spot on Cold Flame. So damn good. I mean, you could really pick him out very easily. Next up, we have Revocation with Nether Heaven. Of course, these guys, technical death thrash band out of Boston, Massachusetts, been around since 2006. This is their 8th full-length album overall, put out by Metal Blade Records. And this right here is just an absolute banger. I've listened to it several times since I've gotten it. This actually features guest vocals during one track from Corpse Grinder and the late great Trevor Sternad, and which was actually one of his last performances vocally, as far as I know. In fact, I think if I remember right, I read that pretty much like the week after they got his contribution for this song is when he tragically passed away. So this is definitely one of his last vocal performances, but he did a hell of a job in this album overall. Definitely potential to be on the year-end list for me. All right, next up, another one that has really badass artwork. This is I Am with Eternal Steel. Yeah, formerly a deathcore band in their earlier days, now more of a death groove metal style band out of Dallas, Texas. Been around since 2011. This is their 3rd full-length album overall, put out by MNRK Heavy. And yeah, heavy is a really good way to describe this album. I only gotten to spin it once, but damn, this is an absolute banger. I cannot wait to go back and jam this some more. And honestly, that band has not done any wrong, in my opinion, so far in all their releases. Next up, another one that seems to get a lot of mixed opinions that I've been noticing. This is the latest from Bloodbath, Survival of the Sickest. And of course, you know, Bloodbath, death metal band from Stockholm, Sweden, been around since 1998. This is their 6th full-length album overall, put out by Napalm Records. This is actually their 3rd with Nick Holmes from Paradise Lost on vocals. So yeah, so far the longest tenure of any vocalist this band has had. But yeah, I dig this. I really do. I don't get why there's so much hate on this album, but some really good songs on here. Definitely go check them out if you have not already. And then last but not least, I was so excited when this band finally announced that they were going to be putting out a CD version of this, because I'd actually asked them when I did the review, because I had got a promo for this earlier in the year, and like, hey, is this going to come out on CD? And they said, well, right now we're just going to do digital, and if there's any interest, then yeah, we might do some CDs. And I hadn't heard anything for a long time. Then all of a sudden they just popped up on Facebook, said that it was available on CD, so I had to pick it up. This is Troglodyte with the Hierarchical Ecological Succession. Welcome to the food chain. Try saying that 3 times fast. But yes, death metal band out of Kansas City, Missouri. Been around since 2005. This is their 4th full-length album, put out by No More Tomorrow Records. And like I said, I did a review of this, so if you want my full thoughts on it, go check this out. But if you love solid death metal, all themed around Bigfoot and everything, then you cannot go wrong with Troglodyte. All right, that is going to do it for part 1 of this update. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.